Northern Central Regional Conference is this is the first time that this conference is being organized, and this is going to be a continuous conference, and this will be a moving conference in all the 7 states. We are going to resolve, and the New Delhi Declaration is going to be declared on Sunday, and this conference we people are expecting the participation of all segments of allied professionals.
Thank you. Then to last.
The exhibition. He is the convener of the exhibition.
AIM exhibition, AIM 99. This is architecture, interior, material exhibitions, what we organized since 1999-91. This is a regular event of a northern chapter in which we are making such kind of effort so that there must be a direct interaction between architect and the product manufacturers. So this is the AIM 99 exhibition regarding it.
I welcome you to this first Northern Central Regional Conference, and I would request Architect Girish Mistry to present a bouquet to Shri Ashok Pava. Architect Girish Mistry. Now I would request Architect S.M. Akhtar, Chapter Chairman, UP, to present a bouquet to Shri B.S. Durgal, Director General, CPW. Now I would request Architect Alok Ranjan, Vice Chairman, Rajasthan Chapter, to present a bouquet to Shri V. Suresh, CMD, Gurpur. I would request Architect B.P. Malhotra, Chairman, Himachal Center, to present a bouquet to Shri Praful Kharkhanis, Vice President, IAE. Now I would request our Chapter Chairman, Architect Charanjit Singh Shah, to deliver his welcome address. Architect Charanjit Shah.
Architect B.S. Dugal, Director General, CPWD, Vice President, IAEA, Chapter Chairman, Girish Mistry, S.M. Akhtar, Mr. Malhotra, and my friend Mr. Alok Ranjan, Mr. J.R. Bhalla, the past President in Institute of Architects, Architect David Kush, National Council Member, Madam Pratibha, Chairperson, Karnataka Chapter, eminent authorities, fellow architects, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to this inaugural function of First Northern Central Regional Conference of Architects. Indian Institute of Architects, the sole professional organization of architects, which is more than 80 years old, involved in various professional activities through its various chapters and centers. Out of the 15 chapters of the Institute, Northern Chapter has taken a lead and organized, with the guidance and support of 7 chapters of Indian Institute of Architects from 2 regions of India, Northern and Central, the first Northern Central Regional Conference of Architects at New Delhi. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and of course Delhi, which is indeed the most progressive part of the India, are participating in this conference. Sir, 7 chapters of Indian Institute of Architects have joined hands in organizing this mega event, which would be a strong and fruitful professional forum to discuss various matters of common interest to the profession. The theme of the conference, Architect the Team Leader, response from the profession, the society, the related professionals, the global corporate sector, will be deliberated in 4 technical sessions, today, tomorrow, and day after. Does the architect really feel authoritative in calling himself the team leader? Or, of course, or the profession is being diluted, left in isolation, and feels lost into the ocean of new innovations, technologies, advancements, and the basic concepts of thoughts. We definitely need a self-appraisal to direct, guide, and put the house in order and onto the rightful track to be able to get the dignity and the status of the profession, of which we definitely feel proud of, being recognized as team leader. The excellence of the profession is invariably judged through its perfection and ability to perform in implementation of any project, through the skill of creativity, use of awareness of latest appropriate technology, its material application, construction and project management. The leadership demands a total dedication and commitment towards the understanding of the complete philosophy of creation of built form spaces, without imbalancing the ecological and environmental values. In inbuilt knowledge, the basic elements of applied architecture like structure, climatology, landscaping, services, air conditioning, etc., used in a design process thought, along with the latest appropriate technology, suiting to the socio-economical needs and requirements of the society, would be able to generate desired quality of the final inbuilt form spaces. Therefore, the leadership would never be demanded, but always commanded through its perfection and excellence of the performance. It is rather inbuilt leadership which eventually, through various professional courses, helps in individual's personality building in the multidisciplinary profession of architecture with such complex and diversified requirements and systems of operation. Besides such vast network of information technology systems, it is indeed painful and pathetic to watch the primitive and conventional use of materials and construction techniques being followed without any reforms and awareness within the profession in particular and building industry in general. Therefore, the profession of architecture, which commands leadership, should continue to provide rightful direction, suitable and preventive measures, and frame out implementation policies and create social, political, and professional awareness among the masses to be able to create healthy and livable environment. Providing of legislative bureaucratic powers to the profession of architecture in nation building would be a stepping stone towards the better and healthy development. Therefore, the leadership of architects should demand for an appropriate and suitable political will and a bureaucratic wisdom to provide authority to the profession, like Pandit Nehru gave to Lee Corbusier in designing the city of Chandigarh, which is a live demonstration and a lifetime contribution showing the quality of an architect as a team leader. Therefore, the Northern Chapter Indian Institute of Architects has taken a lead in making a collected effort in organizing this first ever Northern Central Regional Conference so that the larger and authoritative platform of the region could discuss the various matters of profession of region so that the awareness within the profession and the society could be generated for a better and healthy profession of tomorrow. So we are also organizing, I'll cut short, we are also organizing AIM 99, where this is architecture, interior material application, along with this 3 days conference, the new thoughts of architects and designers and the practical problems and the feel and the taste of the product and other experience of the end users could also be well understood by the manufacturers to provide the rightful direction and suitable products according to the needs and requirements of the user. Inability to attend this conference, as is away to attend Architects Acacia Forum, has sent his good wishes and a grand success for the conference. I once again welcome you, sir, for you out of your busy schedule. You have really made it, and I apologize for the delay, and I once again thank you very much. Now I'll request Architect Kapil Mehta, who is the convener of the NCRC, will introduce NCRC conference to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chief Guest, Shri Ashok Pawar, Shri B.S. Duggal, Shri V. Suresh, Architect Praful Kharkhale, Architect Charanjit Shah, Architect Yudhvir Singh, Architect Mahesh Waliwal, dignitaries of the dais, fellow architects, ladies and gentlemen. It is something very interesting in introducing about Northern Central Regional Conference. We have national conventions, we have chapter conventions, but the same are invariably left with a festive look. Realizing the need of diversified and particular problems being faced by the profession in the various regions of India, it has been very appropriately thought by the 7 chapters of Indian Institute of Architects, Northern and Central region, to form Northern Central Regional Conference, a common joint platform to discuss the various issues of profession which have simulates due to socio-economic, cultural and climatic conditions. Though initially we were faced with certain reservations, but eventually with a broader and larger perspective and aim with visionary spirit, it has been acknowledged and appreciated by one and all, and hence the birth of Northern Central Regional Conference. The overwhelming response from the profession, from the gathering present here with crashing of gates, shows the deep interest of professionals in various activities of the Institute. Thank you very much. Now I would request Architect Yudhvir Singh, convener of AIM 99, to introduce AIM 99. Architect Yudhvir Singh.
Shri B.S. Duggal ji, Shri V. Suresh ji, Shri Praful Kharkhale ji, Charanjit Shah ji, Mahesh Waliwal ji, Kapil Mehta, fellow architects, ladies and gentlemen. I have been assigned with the pleasant task to introduce AIM 99. As you know, AIM stands for Architecture, Interior, Material as Exclusive Exhibition, being organized by the Indian Institute of Architects, Northern Chapter, and visualized way back in 1991 by architect Balbir Verma. I must say thanks to Balbir Verma on this issue, and this exhibition is gaining momentum year by year. From venue in Ashoka Hotel, shifted to the larger and organized place at Pragati Maidan. It has been established the status of this professional managed exhibition, a landmark. It is indeed a rare opportunity for the manufacturers to be in contact with such large number of architects and other allied professions. It is an exclusive forum which provides direct interaction amongst the manufacturers, the actual end user, and the architects. The exhibition is source of getting information, technical dates, and knowledge to understand the behavior of different material and appropriate use of same in our changing construction technique and system. Though such exhibition is an awareness generated among the masses and of course also among the professionals about the new innovative materials and product available. It helps in updating and upgrading the professional about such new products. in today's fast-changing technology and construction system, it has invariably become absolutely necessary to organize such kind of exhibitions. AIM 99 organized along with Northern Central Regional Conference of Architects, where there is a good participation from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and of course Delhi, which would definitely prove to be an excellent venue for exposure of new material and product and their availability, so that the architect and consumer could be benefited by such direct exposure and interaction. We have many futuristic plans regarding AIM, wherein to provide a very suitable and most appropriate professional forum for the building material manufacturers. AIM Technical Cell, with a high-profile technical advisory board to look into the various aspects of product in the most critical and scientific approach for its recognition with IAA Northern Chapter. As approved, IAA Northern Chapter standards would provide a professional recognition for the product and the brand name of the product. A survey and study team consisting of various professional institutions and organizations with a large and broader opinion poll from the profession for recognizing of new innovation material product would be encouraging to the new entrant in the field. I am confident that AIM 99 have exhibition of material along with display of student work would be interesting and informative to the professional and the society. Thank you.
Thank you, Kapil. Honorable Chief Guest Shri Ashok Pavaji, Architect Praful Karkhanis, Vice President IIA, Guest of Honor Shri B.S. Duggal, Guest of Honor Shri V. Suresh, NCRC Chairman Shri Charanjit Shah, Vidveer Singh, and Kapil Mehta, and dignitaries in the auditorium and friends. A contemplative architect is at the crossroads. He is in search of a direction. He is unable to decide whether he should be a designer, a builder, developer, consultant, or a manager. In which role can he be successfully and respectfully contribute as an architect and as a team leader? The architect as a team leader has to take up challenging task of leading his building construction team and contribute towards the national building in the coming millennium. For this, an architect must possess the leadership quality, which is an art based on the professional philosophy, understanding of human psychology, and human behavioral pattern. He must possess good communication skills, must be able to get his ideas across, and has to be an efficient supervisor, or else he is accountable for any failure. We at IS Northern Central Regional Conference have the best opportunity not only to introspect, but also to deliver upon the varied responses on this issue. In the 4 technical sessions to follow, the responses of the people from the profession, the society, and the related professions, and the global corporate sector on the theme, architect the team leader will be deliberated upon. We have practicing architects, educationists, architects from government sector, the people from professions will be expressing their views on the status of architecture in the present scenario. People from government sector, public institutions who have been working in close association with architects are expressing the society's response on the theme architect is a team leader. Eminent personalities from the field of town planning, ecological planning, landscape architecture, urban design, fine arts, and social sciences, who are from the related professions, will be sharing their thoughts on the same issue. And finally, we have the industrial agencies, developers, representatives from public and private institutions, representing the global corporate sector, responding to the theme, architect is a team leader. I hope the proceedings of Northern Central Region Conference will be thought-provoking and would certainly give some direction to the architect who is at the crossroad. Before ending, I would like to thank the chief guest, the guest of honor, who have come and graced the occasion. And I would also like to thank Shri Chandra Shah, Chairman NCRC, for giving me the opportunity of being part of the organization process. And last but not the least, I'll also like to thank Mr. Baldev Verma for suggesting us the theme of NCRC, Architect the team leader. I wish you all a good time in the conference. Thank you.
The guest of this function, Honorable Sri Ashok Pavaji, Honorable guest, Sri Dugal Sahib, Sri V. Suresh, Galaxy of Office Base of I chapters from the dais, past president of I and past president of Council of Architecture, Architect Jairam Ballaji, past chairman of Northern Chapter, Architect Takulia ji, Architect Balbir Verma, Council member, Architect Divya Kush, Architect Yudhveer, Architect Atul Gupta, and friends. Fellow architects, at the outset, let me congratulate all the chapter chairmen of all 7 chapters of Northern and Central Region who are emerged in today's first ever Northern Central Region Conference of Architects in Delhi. It's indeed the best ever architects in this region have taken to come together to interact about the problems which every one of us are going to face in the next millennium. Architects need to be aware of these changes if they are to act as team leaders. Our education system will have to learn to achieve this. And in the context of today's democratic society, the team leader is not the boss, but the first among equals. The team of the future will consist not only of the design profession, but with a compassionate understanding of the deep-rooted problems of our own country. With this short note, from my side, I conclude here with great hope from all of you, whereby one can say proudly that next millennium architecture, from contemporary architecture, has inspired us to work for millions of our nations. Ultimately, we have to serve the public in general and thereby our own professionals in the country. Once again, I am wishing you all the best for this first ever meet of these 2 regions who have taken tremendous effort to put this particular combined regional contractor who have taken tremendous task, tremendous effort to bring this, all of us together. I expect fruitful deliberations and nice time to interact with each other and their citizens in years to come. Thank you very much.
And distinguished guests. I am thankful to the organizers for giving me the honor to be here. It gives me immense pleasure to address the galaxy of professionals, architects and planners who have gathered here to share their views and experience in the Northern Central Regional Conference on Architect the Team Leader. Today, when the anonymous, faceless buildings have become part of city life, I appreciate the thoughtfulness of the Northern Chapter of Institute of Architects to have appropriately chosen this theme for the conference. This beautiful universe, which is the wonderful gift of the God, the master architect of the mankind, he has further distributed part responsibility to us, the architects, which we wish to believe, for preserving nature and enhancing the beauty of the Mother Earth through process of sustainable development for growth of mankind. Architecture of different times reflect socio-cultural aspects of various civilizations and human settlements, climatic compulsions and technological constraints of that period. Advancement of science and technology has opened new vistas for architecture with the advent of new materials, techniques immense development in the field of information technology has made possible sharing the vast available knowledge the world over. This phenomena has placed even greater responsibility on architects to synthesize creativity with intelligence and judicious application of knowledge and technology with help of natural, human and material resources. This gigantic task is possible only if the architect commands leadership of the development team through his vision. The phenomena of urbanization and migration has put tremendous pressure on urban areas in India. The resultant chaos and deterioration of our cities and towns is an indicator of our lack of vision in planning, development and implementation. Thus, we need to do some introspection and redefine our role and objectives in the light of new socio-economic scenario. Most of the development is faceless and devoid of any vision, which is either unplanned development lacking basic infrastructure or reduced to a set formulas of multi-stories. Housing and office spaces have become commercial commodities. Builders are producing decorative buildings to attract people. A concept of decorative surface architecture or builder's architecture is spreading fast in our cities.
Thank you, sir. We have with us a very dynamic and loud personality, Shri V. Suresh, CMD, HUDCO, who has been awarded with the Honorary Fellowship of IIA. The profession indeed looks upon very innovative and dynamic approach from you, sir. I would request Shri V. Suresh to address the gathering.
I was trying to look at the overall contribution of architecture. My experience over the last 35 years, things go back to 1965 when I joined as a young officer in the Indian front of the civil engineering side into a multi-faceted appreciation of the whole thing, started coming when the whole document started getting built up block by block, wherein the whole concept of all the professional inputs that go into the building development program gets into that particular thing. Be it the chapters on the administration of general building requirements or the planning standards or the development control rules that go along with that, a special chapter on the structural design dealing with the loads, all the types of structures, masonry or concrete or timber or pre-stressed or steel, aluminium, whatever. Then add on to the new dimension, the fire protection. At that point of time, fire protection was not even talked about. I'm talking about in '66 for the first time, fire protection building got added. Then the specialization of the air conditioning and heating, electrical installation, lifts, acoustic sound insulation, water supply, sanitation, plumbing, installation, including the chapters on the advertising and the graphic designs and related particular things all came in. When we really looked into all that, we suddenly started looking into the various professionals that come into it, be it the architect as a central group over there, which gives the total concept of the thing of the built environment, to which each one of them contribute. The skeleton within the body being done by the structural engineers, the column and the beam and the slabs, and the complete system of the public health engineers, the plumbing engineers, the air conditioning engineers, all these people start coming and putting into their own contribution, and finally at the end of it, the whole mosaic comes of a built environment. For every one of those things, somebody has got to do the link and the leadership on this thing. So this is something which has already been there, on which I have grown on. Even though a basic civil engineer, I've been able to understand this particular concept. And I've always been looking architect as a word. If you really look into the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, I was trying to look at it, it has been indicated as a person who brings about anything that is to be happen over there, or they even use the word architect of his own fortune on that. And we use that word in a very literal sense. Aren't we continuously using Panditji as the architect of the building of the modern India? Already started using the word for Kurian to be the architect for the milk revolution, or Professor Swaminathan for the green revolution, or for that matter Abdul Kalam as the architect for the missile and ballistics project. So the word architect, when you use that, we are trying to look at it as somebody who has led a movement or a program, or somebody who's given a visionary leadership to the whole program. And therefore, in the context of the built environment and in the building and the related area, there is a clear particular vision as far as the profession is concerned. But as Dugal Sahab rightly indicated, for us to get that particular commanding position, there are a large number of areas into which we got to really give that particular visionary leadership, able to see that we are able to get overview position, the independent role contribute to each one of those sub-professions, respect that particular thing, and still able to assimilate, coordinate, and integrate and link that particular thing, and not out of just a leader to be a leader on that. So it will come automatically. You are actually not demanding leadership, you are commanding leadership by your own action of trying to deal with that particular project in a big way. So that's the way in which it's coming, because I strongly believe that the buildings built by us today, for that matter even so many years of civilization, they stand it, unlike the contribution done by doctors or lawyers or whatever. Well, various things are they're buried or they're hung or whatever they're told for mistakes, but here we can't afford to do a mistake, and these are therefore posterity for us to see. An architectural building environment actually mirrors the society that we are continuously living, be it housing or whatever, or the other type of building, etc. And therefore, when we are trying to look at the leadership role, and especially when you're getting into the new millennium, and we are addressing a group of architects who are going to contribute to the creation of large number of new building complexes, be it housing or office or conference centers or whatever that you have, we got to see how we can leave behind, maybe 50 years down the line, behind the line. Can somebody this built by the great architect in the year 2000, when we look at 2050, you know, that type of a vision has got to come in, and from that particular point of view, are we gearing up to the needs of the type of challenges that we have in the current context, be it in respect of environment friendliness, ecological appropriateness, energy saving related thing, alternative building materials that are emerging, which is the need of the hour, a large number of cost effectiveness, needs of not only the rich, where architectural profession has been wrongly put on, saying that they predominantly cover the high incomes, creamy layer people, not relevant for the middle income, not relevant for the low income, not relevant for the weaker section. Can we get out of that and trying to see architecture as a profession will be there for it to play its rightful role for the overall building development program. So that's another dimension, a social dimension of where the profession is really impinging its contribution on, and not just the top 5% or 10% how the housing which is covering of a certain group or a certain type of building, or concentrating just in the 6 megacities and not coming down to the 3,697 remaining towns. Leave alone that at least the top 300 towns can we see a presence of an architect, which is 1 lakh plus. So those type of things which will also be required for if you want to really emerge as a leader. Because otherwise what will happen is the leadership will come only in those few projects which are prime projects. You will get that particular leadership role, but you'll be found in the wayside for large number of things that's done in large number of small and medium towns, or including the other particular projects where the profession is not able to make its impact immediately. Another major area that we got to really keep in view in this particular program is the way in which we are able to see how the profession is able to take care of the practice and the profession by itself. Now, from this particular point of view, as Karkani has indicated, it's very complex, multifaceted, and it's also trying to keep in view the large number of new urbanization with the pressure on land and related issue, pressure on water, groundwater's level going down. What are we might say it's not our job, it's a job of a specialist or a water supply specialist or an infrastructure specialist, but an area which is equally of concern to us. We are having problems of not able to get the right level of treated water, therefore recycling becomes important, aquifer recharging becomes an important thing, rainwater harvesting becomes an important thing, non-current energy use becomes an important element. These are some of the elements on which the profession has not been contributing, excepting a few sparks of brilliance in few sensitive architects. They have really brought in some of these particular things also into area. A few areas which I personally feel, adding on to what Dugal Sahab very briefly indicated, on the business orientation, the development, office management, dealing with the clients, services coordination, dealing with the various consultants, and high specialized in Asia. It requires a great ability of public relations, a great ability of able to see the other's point of view in this particular thing, the issues related to the building bylaws and the nature of changes coming onto this particular thing, project management related issue. Another thing, the inadequate exposure to financial planning and management. Quite often, large number of projects, the leadership has got to come. It is not architectural, civil engineering, structural engineering, public health engineering, and other service engineering. It's equally financial engineering as a new dimension, quote unquote, which is now an important thing, converting the money along with the physical implementation project also as a dimension to come on. Leave alone some of the areas related to technological thing, which in any case I don't want to open up. The address identifies some of those particular areas where possibly we feel that a lot of new exposure needed. I do remember when Babasaheb took a lead on why a large number of technologies identified, which are cost effective, which are alternate, are not catching up. Is it because we are not brought in the architectural front? We are discussing with the various housing boards, development authorities, PWD, state government, etc. Is it because the one who can create, play a role in this, the architects themselves are not brought in? We had a meeting organized in, roughly about 6 months back, and it really did bring some good results. They brought some very useful point on that, understanding on this particular thing, material and to be made available, etc. As well. Another important dimension I just thought is the major changes taken in our 52 years of independence, where at one point of time, maybe in the beginning, architects were looked upon as somebody to come and dress up a structure which is designed by a civil engineer, maybe 1947 and 1950s and all that. So the dominance of the civil structural engineering was a larger one. But that's changed into a much larger thing over the last about 2-3 decades in a big way, where the profession has really come of age as in the Indian context, and they have been able to play a very, very powerful role in the particular thing. But if you got to do that, the type of changes in the professional practice is a subject which is still very minor. Even in the best of our schools of planning and architecture, take Ahmedabad and Delhi, only 2 to 4 credit courses available in some of these issues related to the professional practice and related area if the leadership has to come. Refocus the whole education curricula in a big way. Some good initiative was taken by the Council of Architecture, Bala Sahab and now Balbir Mehta Sahab is doing. Ashish took some initiative along with the British group the other day of the changes that is required in our architectural curricula for the young students of architecture. The changes required in this particular thing equally become an important area. Another area which I thought which is equally important is on the Sustainable Development Program, where a lot of initiatives requires to be done. The Agenda 21 of the Rio Summit. A large number of things are on the built environment. Everything finally focused down to what architect and the team can work together. And this is an area on which a lot of focus is needed. And another area is the context of National Housing and Habitat Policy and the new change, the Urban Land Ceiling Act, Rent Control and related acts, etc. and the Building Bylaws application. Architects can play a very major role. The concept of notary architect, now that Babasaheb is sitting there, just like you have the notary lawyers, you have the chartered accountants who are given the power to give the certification for law-related issues and accounts-related issues, for building plans, the compliance related to the notary architects which are practicing outside. You can identify in every city 5 to 10 or 15 such young architects of standing who can give the clearance and not necessarily go to the local body for approval or compliance related issue. It's again another area if the leadership will start emerging in a very big way. Now at the end, all I can say is, not trying to quote Churchill in a different way, but he did make a statement that we shape our buildings and therefore our buildings shape us. Now if you got to take that particular statement to what in conclusion is, what it tries is the whole built environment, the houses, the buildings, the conference rooms or the various other, the hospitals or the hotels or the various buildings that we are trying to build. Now, in a large way, those particular buildings over a period of time will start telling our own behavioral pattern in a larger way. And if we've got to be proud in the next about 10 decades or, a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades of the new type of buildings coming around on housing or various other particular things, then the profession has got to play its very, very powerful and important role. And I'm entirely convinced that the particular role is there, and as to again quote Duggal, that particular thing has got to be a commanded respect particular thing. It will come out of a larger vision which the profession of architecture will have, and I'm sure you all have that, and I would like to offer my very best wishes for the success of this particular conference. Thank
you. Modern technology. Yeah. All of you must participate in this. ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ where emphasis has gone on ahead. Aye, Suresh sir? Suresh sir, aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shri Ashok Pawar, for formally inaugurating the Northern Central Regional Conference and AIM 99 and releasing the participant directory of AIM 99. Now I would request Shri Ashok Pawar to address the gathering. Shri Ashok.
Wondering that perhaps I would be the only non-architect who would be present in this hall in the presence of such an august gathering and galaxy of architects. Because even Mr. Suresh seems to have acquired being a non-architect and being an economist. There's a very interesting statement as to what economics is. They say economics is a science which states the obvious in terms of the incomprehensible. I think architecture is perhaps a science which relates the incomprehensible and makes it presentable to the very obvious core to the normal human being. The advantage of being perhaps, and hopefully the last speaker, is that most of the points have already been mentioned. I must compliment Mr. Suresh, Mr. Dugal and the other speakers, former speakers, who have really covered the entire ambit of what precisely the focus of your next 2 days convention is going to be. But I will only like to draw your kind attention to how does a common man, how does a citizen of this country view you, view the concept of architecture, and how does it touch the life of a normal human being. You are aware about the great historical background of your dedicated science, where we talk traditionally of Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, the concepts of town planning, which are a part of, inbuilt part really of architecture, the concepts today of the multidisciplinary approach to projects by including things like interiors, town planning, landscaping, architecture, some smattering of knowledge of, presumably, of the structure, as being a very important ingredient for making you the team leader. We are aware about the entire historical perspective. But have you ever visualized, apart from what we read in the books of history, have we ever visualized what the role of an architect, who also figures incidentally as a part of our Indian mythology, that it was this celestial architect who was beckoned to by even by Lord Krishna, to come and plan the beautiful cities. Cities not only on this planet, but celestial cities. You have the concept of an architect at the celestial level, even in the Greek, if you go through the pantheons of Greek mythology, you'll find it even present there. Egyptian, of course, is too well known for me to mention that. How does, and your ancestors in this discipline have been planning the humblest of the humble abode of earth? achieve the excellence in terms of architecture from the Havelis, to the forts, to the palaces, to Taj Mahal, to everything. From what you would do for a common human being to what could be done for the richest of the rich in our country. Today we are faced with a challenge of housing shortage. We needs a particular kind of an architecture which is not necessarily a mere replication or duplication of what is happening in the developed part of the world. I'm very happy to note, to point out that normally whenever I happen to go to any party, the only persons whom I normally see dressed in a innovative kind of a fashion, which has some concepts of ethnic, traditional, and at the same time something which would perhaps come in the 22nd century, are the architects. Therefore, I'm bringing forth this very desire for creation, for innovation, for novelty, and will bring this into play in your products if you want this team, the team leader, to be a success story. I would not like to impose any other opinion of mine which I may have acquired as a civil servant, as a person who's been deeply involved with architecture since tourism has been my passion and has been my forte, as has been the urban development. But I would just like to leave this one single thought. Is the architectural profession being true to the traditional legacy of this country? A. B. If we have to innovate and we are starting with a clean slate of what is happening or what has happened in the past in the developed part of the world, has to be being a co-leader with other disciplines. Thank you very much.
Of mementos. I would request our chairman. Now I would request Architect B.D. Dhaya, Chairman of Noida Center, to present a memento to Architect B.S. Duggal. Now I would request Architect Amol Gupta, Chapter Chairman of Madhya Pradesh, to present a memento to Shri V. Suresh. I would request Architect M.N. Andle, Vice Chairman of the Northern Chapter, to present a memento to Architect Praful Khakhane. Now I would request Architect Yuzveer Singh to propose a vote of thanks. Architect Yuzveer.
Shri B.S. Duggal ji, Shri V. Suresh ji, Shri Prafulla Kharkhanis ji, Shri Chiranjeev Shah ji, Kapil Mehta, and Architect Mahesh Paliwal ji. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no words to express my gratitude of thanks to all of you for your overwhelming response, which we would never thought of while planning and organizing this NCRC conference. the Northern Chapter of Indian Institute of Architects is honored to have your presence and hope that deliberation in all these days will be very meaningful, purposeful, and would provide the rightful directions in finding ways and means to uplift the architecture profession in totality. I am indeed grateful and thankful to our chief guest, Shri Ashok Babaji, for his enlightening thought and providing us encouraging response. We are thankful to Shri V.S. Duggalji and Shri V. Sureshji to be able to spare their valuable time. I am very grateful to Shri Prafulla Karkhanesji, other office bearer of the National Council, council members of Northern Chapters and Center Chairmen and office bearer of National Council, deans of schools of architecture, chief architects of various departments. You, the fellow, very much to all of you.
Thank you very much. Before we conclude, I would request the chief guest to please inaugurate the AIM-99 by cutting the ribbon at ground floor. And also have a round of exhibition to boost